my friends, research scholars, and other people of interest in issues related to research. As I promised the last time, we were looking on how we can find research problems, how can we narrow from a big issues of our interest to a specific area of interest to make the research topics, and from that particular area of interest we can come up with the research title. That is what we did the last video. Today I will be taking you to a very important aspect of which is now the first process in research, which is called the research proposal. Yes. Anyway, before we go into the details of what the research proposal is and what is within the research proposal, I first have this very important scenarios to share with you. That conducting a research is like a house construction, such that wherever there is a good foundation, automatically the house will be so strong, such that wherever any kind of wind won't make it easily falling apart. You can find these two kinds of houses. The first house indicating is now falling down, such that the foundation of the house was not well formulated from the beginning, while the second house, despite of being high, big, tall, with a lot of some information in between, but still indicating that the house is very strong, good, and well standing. Similarly, when we are planning to conduct our research, we need to have a good plan. We need to have a good foundations within which we will be in the position to tell which is a good way and how will it be good in such a way that at the end of the day will be nice. Taking these small examples, foundation while constructing a house is like now you are planning for your research or the proposal of your research, which is now we call introduction. I am taking now to the important aspect of today, which is the important aspect of our today's presentation, which is the so-called the research as a process. Research as a process, dear scholars, dear people of interest in research, and those juniors in these games of academic research. When we speak of the research as a process, usually involves some aspects which varies from one to another. The structure of the research as a process could even vary from one institution to another. It could be influenced by the organizations or the institution. It sometimes gets influenced by the sponsors, or sometimes it could be differing from one organization to another, from one discipline to another, and from one aspect to another. Look, this some important hints to be guiding you, my friends, that while you are conducting a research, while you are planning to conduct your particular research, bear in mind the following important steps, that the research is a process. That first, we usually identify the research topics or the problems of which we were planning to work on it. And from the research topic or the problems, we are going to have the tentative or the title of that particular research. And then from that particular problems or our research topic, we need to go a detailed views of literatures, both the theoretical aspect and the empirical aspect. Then after, we will go for the preparations of the research or the proposals, or sometimes we call it the plan of the research. Okay, the plan of the research. But these two terminology can be used interchangeably, but each have a certain criteria from which you can differentiate. After we have gone to a particular point of the plan of the research, you make your plan of the research, you do it, you can sometimes present to a particular organization or particular institution. Then they will allow you to go for the field work or lab work, where you will collect your data. After correcting the data in your field of lab work, you need then to make data analysis and the interpretation of that particular data. After interpreting the data and then arriving at that particular data, at the end of the day, you need to make writings. You report your information and make communications. While writings, we sometimes use the writing thesis, or sometimes the dissertation, the webinars, we go for the seminars, we sometimes communicate by conferences, sometimes we communicate by publications. And my friends, I say today that we are going to discuss more important aspect related to a plan of the research. That what is a research proposal? What is within the research proposal? What are the components of the research proposal? That is a very important aspect of us. We have already done aspect on how can we formulate a title, how can we form problems. From the problem we have the titles, from the titles now we are on the position to make proposals of our research. That is very, very important aspect of research proposal is nothing. Rather, this is a plan of research. It is a document, okay, a binding document which describes the modalities and ways on how you are going to conduct your research. It is a plan that a researcher should set and plan before he or she goes to do a particular research. While you are planning to do a particular research, you need to sit down and plan that already this is my topic, or this is my areas on which I am going to conduct my research. And this is the problem of which I am going to do my research. Now, you sit down and plan that over these particular objectives, over this particular study, I will be doing 1, 2, 3. The problems of my study is that one. From that particular problems, you have already created your good study topic or title of your study. From the title of your study, you have already formulated your objectives, both the general and the specific objectives. And then from that particular aspect, you need to go to describe all aspects related to what will be your population of your study, what will be your sampling frame, what will be your sample size, what will you be your experimental design, what will be your research design, what will be your sampling design, what could be your data collection plan, and what could be the data analysis techniques, and what could be the interpretation. How will you do the general organizations of your work should be planned before you go for a particular research. And during planning of that particular area, some institutions, and most of academic institutions, they will require you to present before them, and at the end of the day they will say what you are planning to do is good. Now you can go for further stage of the stage, which is now for field and whatever. And then today we are going to describe what are the important parameters and elements that are within the research proposals, and what should be the component of the research proposal. As I said from the beginning, that it varies depending on institution, or the organizations, or the sponsor's need, and other more criteria. Institution could have a particular format from which all its students should follow that particular format. Sometimes if you are employed by a certain organization, whether a government organization or a non-government organization, and they ask you to conduct a particular research, before conducting that particular research, they will need to submit a proposal on the plan of what you are going to do. So they will also have a particular format of which you need to take into account. Sometimes the sponsors who have sponsored you to clear a particular study, they might have their own format of which they will be requiring you to follow while writing a particular proposal. Despite such available variations, there are common areas of which, as an academic or academic researchers, we need to take into consideration, and we should take it that these are the common parameters of which should appear on a so-called research proposal. Generally, we have the so-called the preliminary informations. Under these particular areas, you will have the title of your plan of the research or the proposal. You will have institution names or the organization names. You will have all others depending on the format of your institution or the organization that you are working on. But generally, these 3 chapters are very important, that every kind of the research proposal, despite of its nature and whatever, these 3 important chapters should be included. The first chapter is, we call the chapter 1, which is, we describes all aspects of introductions. And then we have the chapter 2, which is the literature review, comprising the theoretical review and the empirical review. The third chapter is chapter 3, which is now the research methodologies. And then we have other parameters of which could be the references, the appendages, the budgets, and the time frame of that particular area. Dear scholars, dear friends, as I have informed you that the research proposal contains those things. Therefore, today I am going to give you a simple introductories of the chapter 1, of which I say the chapter 1 comprises of several parameters. It has what we call the background of the study, the statement of the problems, the objectives of the study, the research questions, or the hypothesis of the study, the significance of the study, and other important parameters of which we are going to share today. But because of this, today I am going to tell you only the parameters which are so important, of which a researcher should include while writing the background introductions of his research work. Chapter 1, as I said, it has the background information. We have the so-called the research problem statement. Under the introduction section, we need to see the objectives of the study, where we have the general and the specific objectives. We have the hypothesis, if you prefer to use the hypothesis, or the research questions, if you find you are using the research questions instead of the hypothesis. We have the significance of the study, and sometimes we have the scope of the study and the conceptual framework. Though these 2 parameters may vary from one discipline to another, however, these are some of the very important aspects within the research. Today, I will be talking to you the background information aspect. What should be included on the background information? Introduction section of the research proposal and any other kind of research, whether a report and whatever. This is a place where you are going to introduce your topic. It is the only point of interest of which a reader could be attracted with what is within a particular proposal. It should be phrased in such a way that it makes some sort of attraction. Okay? The nice you make it from the beginning is where now you are going to attract most of the readers, that inside that particular area there are good things. It should show a very comprehensive and a reflectory introduction, pointing out out the very, very important areas of your study. What is the reason behind for you to care about that particular study? Why are you going to care that particular area? What are the motives behind? Okay? Such introductory remark should be clearly reflected from your introduction. You should show what is known from what is not known from that particular area. What others have made a contribution relating to that particular areas of your research, whether in the same area or the study sites or in different areas, but relating to the topic. What is the contribution of others? And why do you find that this kind of research is going to be kept? What are the reasons or what are the convincing powers that you find yourself that because of 1, 2, 3, the necessity of performing this kind of research is very important? You should point out some statistical parameters indicating that the other scholars has made this kind of research or related kind of research in a certain area and come up with the following findings. However, there are some weaknesses of which they are not yet covered. That's why the current study is planning to zip the available gaps. Reflecting of the research problems, you should show the magnitudes and the extent of the particular problem, starting from the global scale, regional scale, zone, to a specific area of your interest. Try to show the severity of that particular problem, how severe the problem is, how that problem is in need of being investigated, and what are the gaps of which you find that these gaps have not yet well involved to find out the solution to come up with a particular study. Therefore, it is important to be very keen from the introductory section that you need to show that there is a problem. Okay? You need to show that there is a problem right from the beginning. Most of the senior researchers, they tell that a problems, while stating this, while writing the introductory sections of whether your proposal, you within 5 to 10 sentences, the problems that you are going to work on should be effectively indicated. Suppose we are doing a research on forest, as an example, or in soil, as an example. Therefore, while making an introductory stages of your research, of your topic of interest, you need to tell, for example, what is the importance of forest, how many types of forest we have, what parameter the forest contribute to the lives of an individual, what the contribution of the forest on climate-related aspect, how the forests are reducing this climate-related global warming and the other things, what parameters has been already documented that reflect the insignificance of the availability of the forest, what species are within the forest. You make such significance of the forest on your introductory remark, and then you start now coming to your point of interest, telling about that if forest has contributed 1, 2, 3, and according to somebody will make some citation, he has also reported this and this on particularly forest. However, some issues related to this and one has not yet well investigated. That's why the current study is seeking to find areas to come up when making some new information on the particular area. We expect that particular introduction remark, you show some novelty new inputs of your start. You show what are the contributions. You come from the broader aspect, you are narrowing the issue till you go to the point of your intellect that these things are yet investigated. That's why the current start is planning, is expected, will be carried to do 1, 2, 3. That you mention the important parameter objective that you are planning to achieve on your proposal. I think